Hello, Internet peoples. It is once again Tuesday, and the question is it okay to ask multiple unrelated questions in the same video? And if so, is it beneficial? When we started this project, Monday outlined for us that there are like no rules, except that you have to post a video on your day, and it has to have a question in it. For me, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. So obviously, I could, post like 5 questions in my video that are completely unrelated every week, but it's not necessarily beneficial. If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing, just for one thing, if I started it out, if I knew all about this one thing, wouldn't that be something? I have no idea what that song is talking about. I didn't look up the meaning or anything, so it could be a horrible song, or it could be about something silly, or it could be just unrelated. But what I got out of it was, wouldn't it be fascinating if someone lived their life doing only one thing all day, every day? And so I got to thinking, what if you read like as much literature as you could? I mean, I just have to think of it this way. I'm missing out on so much of life, and it's impossible for me to avoid that. I know this is okay, for a couple reasons. One, I cannot do everything I'd like to do in this life. There's not enough time. And even if technically there were enough time to do like, a billion of those things, I wouldn't get very much enjoyment out of a life that was just designed at a breakneck pace to try to learn as many things and experience as many things as possible non-stop just for the sake of doing it. The other reason is that, man, why are you reading books or learning how to skateboard or whatever when you could be trading it all and giving it all away for God? That's the Sunday school answer, and I never thought of it that way in my hypothetical worlds. But whatever. On to my third unrelated question. Do I place too much significance upon marriage? Vulnerability time! I had a dream the other night, and I was married to a friend of mine. I was just so incredibly happy, like, happiest I've ever been in a dream. And I woke up and was just sat in bed for like ever, just like crushed. I am a worrier and a hopeless romantic, and when you put those two things together, in the words of that guy in Avatar, that's a potent mix. A worrier and a romantic body. Yeah. The 20/20 vision that comes with dream hindsight started to sink in. I realized that I didn't know that I was going to marry that person. She was a lot different than she was in the dream. And when I alluded to the fact that I liked her once, because I used to like her, she was like, whoa! I want to read to you a quote from A Million Miles in a Thousand Years. And after I read this quote, you should go read this book. She said she had married a guy, and he was just a guy. He wasn't going to make all her problems go away because he was just a guy. And that freed her to really love him as a guy, not as an ultimate problem solver. And because her husband believed she was just a girl, he was free to really love her too. Neither needed the other to make everything okay. They were simply content to have good company through life's conflicts. I don't think of marriage as an ultimate problem solver anymore, but I put a lot of significance on marriage. I just want God to show me the right person and I can get married and I'll be so happy. See, marriage is God's sacred institution though. I mean, that's a lot of significance, right? Honestly, I want the tangible version of a relationship with God. And I think God can show himself to us through the husband and wife dynamic. Because it shows us how to love someone with all that we are, but regardless, it's not the time for me to think about it. I think I put too much significance on marriage in my life right now. Marriage is significant, but I have to wait and trust God that He'll bring this significant thing into my life. It's not the one thing. Hey. It's like I'm trying to make marriage the one thing. Even that person will not replace God. And that person is just a girl. I guess. It's so unromantic. But I'm pretty sure that's what God wants. And that reminds me of Friday's last video when she talked about being free to love others when you don't need other people. And now to get back to my main question. The only thing I can foresee is it being either an information overload or being hard to follow. So to finish this video, I'm going to ask you guys the question, what do you think? Was it beneficial to you to hear a bunch of questions? Were you stimulated more? Or would you rather I just ask one question? Or is it good sometimes, but not all the time? Comment on the blog. Anyway, have a good week, and I will see you guys. I don't know if I'll see you guys, but it's irrelevant, because you can always see me, stalkers. Have fun. I'm gonna go fishing.